What's a silly sibling code that helped you escape danger? My older brother and I made up a signal when I was 11 and he was 14. We called it the sandwich rule. If either of us mentioned wanting a turkey and mustard sandwich, it meant come get me now. Something's very wrong. We invented it. After I got stuck at a sleepover where older kids started breaking into the parents' liquor cabinet and pressuring everyone to drink, I texted my brother about that sandwich at midnight. He showed up 20 minutes later saying our mom needed me home for an emergency, got me out without anyone knowing. The rule was simple. Turkey and mustard meant danger. Turkey and mustard meant I need you. Turkey and mustard meant trust me. We used it 5 times growing up for sketchy situations, bad parties, uncomfortable rides, weird hangouts. But when I really needed it, I was 20 years old working night security at a warehouse outside Pittsburgh, and my supervisor had just locked me in the equipment room. His name was Rick, my boss for 3 months. Seemed nice at first, always covering shifts, bringing donuts on Fridays. But the last 2 weeks he'd been acting different, making comments about us being alone during overnight shifts, standing too close when reviewing schedules, asking about my dating life. That night I clocked in at 11 p.m. Just me and Rick watching cameras and doing patrols. Around 2 a.m., Rick said he needed help moving equipment in building 3, the furthest building from the main office. I followed him across the dark parking lot. We got to the storage room. He turned on the lights. There was no equipment, just empty shelves and concrete. I turned to ask what was going on and heard the door slam. The lock clicked. I grabbed the handle and pulled. Nothing. Rick's voice came through calm and friendly. Just need you to cool off in there for a bit. Think about whether you want to keep this job. I pounded on the metal door. This isn't funny. Rick let me out. He laughed. I'm heading back to the office. We'll talk when I come back. Maybe an hour or 2. His footsteps faded. I was locked in concrete with no windows, no phone signal because the walls were too thick, no way out, one bulb hanging from the ceiling. I checked my phone, 2:07 a.m., one bar flickering in and out. I tried calling 911 but it wouldn't connect. Tried texting but nothing sent. I sat on the floor trying to think. Rick had the only keys. Shift ended at 7 a.m., which meant 4.5 hours until day crew showed up. If Rick didn't let me out by then, I could explain what happened. But what if he let me out before anyone arrived? What if he claimed I fell asleep or locked myself in by accident? My word against his, and he'd been there 6 years. My phone signal jumped to 2 bars for 10 seconds. I opened messages and texted my brother fast. At work overnight shift at the warehouse. Could really go for a turkey and mustard sandwich right now. The weird specific kind we used to get. Send failed. I tried again. Send failed. Signal dropped to nothing. I stared at my phone for 20 minutes watching the signal bar flicker. Finally it jumped to 1 bar. I hit resend. This time it went through. I watched delivered appear and felt my whole body relax. Now I just had to wait and hope he remembered a code we invented 9 years ago. 3:30 a.m. Footsteps outside. Rick's voice through the door. You thinking clearly now? Ready to be more cooperative? I didn't answer. He tried different. Look, I'm not a bad guy. I just think we could have a nice arrangement here. You're a good worker. I'd hate to fire you over attitude problems. My phone buzzed. My brother calling. The call dropped immediately because signal was too weak, but he'd seen my message. He was awake. I texted back even though I wasn't sure it would send. Building 3 storage room locked in. Rick did it. Send failed. I tried 4 more times. Finally one went through at 4:15 a.m. At 5:30 a.m. I heard cars pulling up outside. Multiple cars, voices, then pounding on the door. This is the police. We need you to open this door now. Rick's voice suddenly nervous. There's been a misunderstanding, officers. I was just about to let him out. The door opened. 2 cops stood there. Behind them I could see my brother and Rick in handcuffs. My brother got my first message and called the warehouse main line asking to speak to me. Rick answered and said I'd gone home sick. My brother knew that was wrong because he'd just gotten a text from me saying I was at work. So he called police and told them his brother was being held at the warehouse by a supervisor. Cops pulled my brother's phone records showing my messages. They pulled security footage showing Rick walking me to building 3 at 2 a.m. and leaving me there. They pulled Rick's file showing 2 previous complaints from female employees about inappropriate behavior that management buried. Rick got charged with unlawful restraint and lost his job. The company settled with me to avoid a lawsuit. My brother never asked what happened in that room or why I sent the code. He just showed up at my apartment the next day with an actual turkey and mustard sandwich and sat with me while I ate it.